about to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for.
Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here then welcome. My name is Vicky and I'm a mum of 3 boys and I film a lot of food related content on this channel. So this is a meals of the week video, as it would have said in the title, and what I will do is take you through some of the things we've eaten over the course of the week, along with recipes, ingredients and the process of making them. I've got a few new ones in this week. I know that a couple of you have been asking for me to make the carrot cake that I've mentioned a few times. So that's in this week's video and I will leave the recipe in the description box. I also made marry me chicken this week for the first time ever, so I've put that in, and I will also leave that recipe in the description box as well. So if you enjoy this kind of video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already for lots more content. We also do weekly vlogs and food shopping hauls and lots of other lifestyle bits. So let's go and have a look at what we've had this week. Right, I'm just about to start to make my marry me chicken that I know a lot of you have been waiting to see me make. And the first thing I'm going to do is heat some olive oil in my pan to cook the chicken. I'm using skinless and boneless chicken thighs. You can use chicken breast or you can use skin on and bone in chicken thighs. What I will do, I will leave everything linked in the description. I will leave a UK recipe and a US recipe, so the exact amounts. This serves 4 people, just so you know exactly what you're getting, because we tried to work out what was UK and what was US and it was a bit of a nightmare. So I've just got about a tablespoon of olive oil in a pan, and I'm going to be using, like I said, skinless and boneless chicken thighs. Just going to pop those in. Right, so now the chicken is cooking, I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper and turn it over. So I've probably done them for about 2 minutes on high either side, and then what I'm going to do now is just put them into a glass dish. I also season them with salt and pepper on both sides. So I'm just going to put them into a Pyrex dish because I don't have a skillet that can go straight into the oven. So I'm going to put the chicken to one side, and then I'm going to put a pan on for my pasta. So I'm just going to start boiling the water, and then to this pan that's had the chicken in, so I'm going to add 2 minced cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to let that cook for about a minute. You don't want it to burn, it will go bitter. So once you've cooked your garlic for around a minute, I'm going to add a whole teaspoon of dried thyme, and I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of chili flakes or red pepper flakes. You could add more if you like it spicier, but I'm just going to start off with half a teaspoon. We can always add more afterwards. Like I said, the whole recipe and ingredients will be linked down below if anyone wants to follow it that way. Right, so now that's been cooking for about another minute, we are going to add around 200ml of chicken stock. I've used the Knorr chicken stock cubes. I made up 500ml as you do, and then I've just saved some of it. I'll either pop it in the fridge or freezer for another day. So I'm going to add that to my pan. I'm also going to add my sun-dried tomatoes. There's about 30 grams of chopped sun-dried tomatoes, and in the UK Lidl is probably one of the best places, or Aldi, to get those. They seem to be the best value. I'm also going to add my double cream. We're going to give it a good seasoning of salt. Then I've also got about 50 grams of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add that in as well. And we're just going to let all that cook together nicely. So you're just going to bring that to a simmer and then add it to our chicken in the pan and pop it into an oven that I've preheated to around 200 degrees. Right, so what I'm going to do now, my sauce is simmering. I'm just going to pour it over the chicken, and then we haven't fully cooked it, so I'm going to put it in the oven for probably 10 to 15 minutes until the chicken's fully cooked and the juices run clear. And then I'm going to be cooking my spaghetti and we're going to serve it all together. So just pop it in the oven and make sure that your chicken is fully cooked and the juices are running clear. With these chicken thighs, it'll probably take me around 10 to 15 minutes. It may take a little longer if you use bone-in chicken thighs or chicken breasts. Depends how big they are and how long you originally cooked them for. Right, so my water is boiling, so I'm just going to add my pasta while my chicken's in the oven. You want about 75 grams worth of dry pasta per person. And we're just going to let that cook, and then we will mix it together, put the chicken on top and add some sauce, maybe a little bit of parmesan and fresh basil on the top, and then we are done.
Oh, look at that.
So we're about 10 minutes into cooking the chicken, and what I'm going to do now is sprinkle some of the parmesan that I had left over the top just to give it a little crust. It smells absolutely amazing. I've just had somebody message me saying they're actually making this for their partner tonight for their birthday. And I said I'm having struggles with the whole measurements and the US to UK measurement thing, so I've had to download 2 recipes, and she's like, she tends to just chuck it in. A lot of people have also said that they use coconut milk in place of the double cream or Greek yogurt, and also you can use mozzarella instead of the parmesan, so you can switch it up a bit. We don't use cream in any recipes. If you watch our cooking videos, you'll know that it's not something we do, but I thought I'd make it originally at first and then I can tweak it next time. But I'm going to put this back in. It's looking really good, and I'm glad I did pasta with it because I think the sauce is quite liquidy, so that will go nicely mixed in. Right, so here we are out of the oven, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slot out my chicken and pop those into a dish. So I've just put my chicken all in a dish on one side. So what I'm going to do now with my pasta, my spaghetti, is mix it in with my sauce, and then I can serve it that way so that the pasta is nice and coated. And I think this will be the best way to do it. We're just going to mix it all round, and that way we get all the flavour over everything. It really does smell amazing. So here we are, all dished up, and it looks absolutely amazing. The smells are just fantastic. It smells like a restaurant, like the Olive Garden or something. So this is what we've got for dinner tonight, marry me chicken. For dinner tonight we have got some smoky fajita chili with butter beans in and some air fried potatoes. I've just topped the chili with some grated cheese. There's mushrooms, tinned tomatoes, fajita seasoning, and like I said, butter beans and some tomato puree. And then I've just done the potatoes, chopped up baby new ones in, put them in the air fryer with some of this all-purpose seasoning from Lidl. So this is how I served it for the boys, and Steve and I had ours differently. I've just put it on top of some oven chips and grated some cheese on top, and then we've got some red jalapeno peppers. And I'm just going to dish this up and maybe put some yogurt on to cool it down a little bit because these peppers are really spicy. So here we are dished up. I've just topped it with some Greek yogurt and a little bit of basil. And that's what we're having for dinner tonight. Chili top cheesy chips. Right, so for tonight's dinner, or today's dinner, I'm just going to put a roast beef joint in the oven. And this is a massive one, so we'll have some for our roast dinner, and then we'll have loads and loads left over for sandwiches and things. So I've just put some olive oil on the top and rubbed in a little bit of black pepper. Then I'm going to put it on high for about 20 minutes in the oven and then cook it really, really low so it goes nice and tender. And then we're going to have roast potatoes, chantenay carrots, cauliflower cheese, roast leeks, and whatever else I can think of actually. So yeah, I'm looking. Here's our beef out of the oven, and I've let it rest for at least an hour. So now I'm just going to slice it up.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go.
all dished up. We've got roast beef, we've got sausage meat stuffing, some leftover mash, roast potatoes, parsnips, cauliflower cheese, chantenay carrots, and also some roast leeks on this one. Bailey doesn't like roast leeks. This is Oscar's, there's Steve's, and this is mine. Right, so I am just about to start making a carrot cake. Now this is something, I'm not a baker, I don't do baking very often, but I have made this 3 or 4 times for Steve. He absolutely loves it and he requested that over the Easter break could I make one, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is actually Mary Berry's recipe. She's got 2 different ones. This is the carrot and walnut cake. So the original recipe is for 8-inch tins, and I've actually got 10-inch tins, so I've just greased them and lined the bottom with baking paper or parchment paper. My oven's preheating on like gas mark 4 or 160 degrees, and I've doubled all the ingredients. I'll leave it written in the description box anyway what ingredients I've used and the amounts, but I've doubled what she uses because I make like 2 massive cakes and then put put cream cheese filling in between them and then decorate it. Right, so basically all you're going to do is combine all your ingredients in your bowl to make your cake mix, and then we're going to put it into our tins and make the filling. It's quite simple once you've done the prep. So like I said, I will put the exact measurements in the description box, but I've got 600 grams of self-raising flour. I have doubled the recipe. There's 450 grams of light brown sugar. I'm not sure what happened to the sound here, but I also added in 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of ginger and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, because that's all I've got in at the moment. You need 500 ml of oil, or obviously 250 if you're doing the smaller batter mixture. I never said this was healthy, by the way. I've got 8 eggs, and I'm going to need a bigger bowl. And then you need 150 grams of chopped walnuts, and you need to save some, probably around 16 halves for decorating. And then as well as that, I've got 400 grams of carrot, like grated carrot. So I'm just going to start mixing this in and then add my carrot, otherwise it's going to go everywhere.
Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna.
So I've got my 2 tins, and I'm now going to attempt to pour this half and half. I probably could do with my assistant, but he's run outside. So, whoa, that's about half in that one. This is so heavy, this bowl.
Lay my troubles to rest.
Right, so I'm going to pop these 2 in the oven for around 35 minutes, or until they've gone golden brown and are starting to come away from the edges. I can also just pop a skewer in, and if that comes out clean, I'll know they're done. Right, the cakes are out of the oven. I've just let them cool a bit, and now I've turned them upside down and took the parchment paper off. Now I need to let them cool some more. They've got to be like as cold as they can be before you put the cream cheese on, because otherwise it'll just melt and run off. So got to leave them, I'm afraid. They're still quite warm. And then I will make the filling. So for the topping, I have used 100 grams of butter, 50 grams of icing sugar, 2 tubs of full fat cream cheese, which is about 400 grams, and about 6 drops of vanilla extract. And I'm just going to mix it all together now. You can whisk it if you want to. That's Hobbs making a fuss in the background because I'm doing food. You've got to mix it all together until it's nice and blended. I'm going to mix it a little bit with my spoon, then I'm going to get my electric whisk out so it sort of fluffs it up a little bit. You could use a hand whisk if you want to. So I've just smoothed half of the cream cheese icing on one half of the cake, and I've just laid the other half of the cake on top, and now I'm just going to pop the rest of it on the top of the cake and decorate it.
Be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna.
And there we go. Mammoth carrot cake. This will last if your family don't eat it for a good few days. I mean, if you wanted to, you could make more of the topping and smear it around the edges. I really think that's probably enough though, to be honest. That's enough cream cheese, butter, sugar. And yeah, there we go. This is our carrot cake all finished. Tonight we have got some chilled Chilled.
Chilled.
We've got some grilled chicken thighs with the skin and bone off. And then we've got some halloumi, some lettuce, tomato, onion and cucumber. And we've also got some peri-peri mayonnaise and some halloumi. So this is what we have got for our dinner tonight, chicken and halloumi salad. So we actually had a brunch the next day. Well, it wasn't a brunch so much as a lunch. It was about midday, but we did like a full English breakfast. Some of us had scrambled egg and some of us had fried eggs. We even had a pot of tea to go with it, and hash browns, sausages, beans, bacon, and there were the boys sitting patiently waiting for their food. And it was really nice and a nice change for a Sunday lunch. Right, so for tonight's dinner, I've just done the boys some loaded nachos. They've got some leftover chilli that I had in the freezer, which has got peppers, onions, butter beans and tomatoes in. And then I've just put it on top of some Doritos and put some grated cheese on top. And then I had a couple of chicken thighs that needed using up. So I've just sliced those up and cooked them in a little bit of butter in the frying pan and pop those on the top as well. So that's what they're having for their dinner tonight. And actually I'm a bit jealous, it looks really, really good. So last but not least for this week was one of our absolute favourites in this house. It's slow cooked Hawaiian chicken. There is a slow cooker recipe for this on our channel. I'll leave it linked down below, and it is absolutely amazing. We served it with mashed potatoes and broccoli, and I'll just show you in the slow cooker. We also had a lot of leftovers from this, which is great because it freezes really well and it tastes like something from the Cheesecake Factory. So that is it for this week. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you did, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help my channel. And subscribe if you're not already. That's the dogs as always every time I turn the camera on. And I will be back very soon with another video. Take care everybody.
This is what we waited